Hey man, how would you describe where your game is today after these two rounds of playoffs compared to where you were at in the regular season?
Um, I think I'm just being more aggressive. I think that's really the only thing that's changed. I think I'm not shying away from showing my competitiveness and just kind of playing how I know how to play. There were spurts of that this year. I remember early in the year in Chicago, maybe a little bit in the beginning or middle of the year when we were hitting a bit of a lull. But I'm just being more aggressive, and maybe Rondo being out helped me get to that point. Put a little more on my shoulders, a little more responsibility, and help push myself to a point to where I was just out there playing rather than thinking about what I should be doing. And since I've been doing that, and we've added Rondo back, it's been great for us, it's been great for me. So I think just continuing to be the competitive and aggressive self that I am, and just limit my mistakes.
Yeah, so your minutes went from about 18 to 24, and I assume even 6 more minutes a game can make a big difference there, whether it's for rhythm or just for anything. Do you think that's true?
Especially in the playoffs, 6 minutes in the playoffs is more than 6 minutes in a regular season game, just from intensity and schemes and having to play every possession like it's the last one, like it's the end of the world. So it's been fun for me though. I'm not. I say I'm not tired. I obviously get tired in the game having to guard great players and just playing as hard as we do as a unit. But I'm loving it, man. I play basketball for a living, so you allow me to play more basketball, I'm only going to be happier.
All right, if we're good on mic, let's go to Dave Goodman.
Hey, Alex. Frank said after Game 4 against Houston that the way you guys are playing defense, it's like having a third superstar. Like the defense is a superstar in itself. Can you describe to me confidence you have in your guys' defensive abilities and the style how would you describe your guys' style of defense?
Yeah, I think we're really diverse. There's different schemes for different opponents. Portland ran a lot of ball screens with their two lead guards that are a little smaller guards, so they try to clear them up, and we did a good job of negating the ball screens. And then Houston tried to play a lot of isolation and get a bunch of threes, and we tried to take the threes and the isos out of the game. So we just do a really good job of following a game plan. I think that's probably our strongest asset is that we have five guys, no matter who it is out there, that can think as well as play at the same time. And when you do that, you're on time for your coverages, you're on time for your help, you're taking away the guy's strong hand, or you're doing the little things that we've schemed for, and obviously it's shown up since we've played so well defensively against two great offensive teams in the first two rounds.
Mark, over to you.
Hey Alex, how did you spend the off day yesterday, and how do you spend this upcoming week in between practices to take advantage of all the cushion you guys have before playing again Friday?
I played a little golf yesterday with my dad and my mom, just kind of getting away. I'll probably play some more golf tomorrow, and if I don't know how many days we have in between, but if we're not doing anything, I'm probably going to play some golf.
Al, you want to take any on site?
Sure, Kyle.
Did you watch the game with any teammates yesterday, the Clippers Nuggets game? What was sort of your reaction to the result? And is it you guys have had to wait on every opponent that you've had two game sevens, and then obviously Portland with the play? And what's that like going through that process again and again?
Yeah, I watched the game by myself. Didn't watch with anybody else. Watched that and some football, and had a nice little Sunday recovery day yesterday. But just impressed with the fight that Denver shows. They were down 3-1 the first series. Everybody counted them out. They won 3 in a row. They were down 3-1 this series. I think everybody counted them out, and here they are again, forcing a game 7. It'll be interesting to see how they respond. It's a big emotional as well as physical task to come back from that many games down. Looking forward to it. Obviously, whoever we play is going to be a good team playing well because they've had to beat some good people to get there. As far as us being ready, I think we were a little better in the first game against Houston than we were against Portland, and hopefully that'll be the same step. Take a little step further of coming out, and we'll have some practices. We played live today, and we'll probably play live again before we play on Friday. But just trying to stay in as much of a rhythm and much of a competitive mindset as you can. I think that's really the biggest thing, is not physically being ready, because physically we're best athletes in the world. We'll physically be ready to go, but mentally being able to get to the point to where it's the sense of urgency is high, and you're playing it like it's do or die, and you didn't just have 5 days off.
Hey Alex, Alan Sliwa. Just curious, what's the vibe of the team? It's obviously 2 great rounds that you guys are coming off of, but there's still, big picture in mind. What is the vibe, the environment, and maybe you could talk about that from a veteran perspective, some of the veterans on the team.
To be honest, it kind of feels like it's felt all year. I mean, especially in the bubble, there's not much you can kind of get away from. We're still just cracking jokes with each other when we need to, and then playing basketball, we try to get as serious as we can, and then off the court, just hanging out with each other again. I think that's probably one of the best attributes of this team, is being able to focus and lock in when we need to, and then not taking life too seriously when it's away from the game.
And we have time for one more on my end. Let's put Melissa rolling. Melissa, all you. All right, we're having trouble hearing her. So anyone else on site?
Nope, I think we're good here. One more time for Melissa, or she's...
I think she had a tough one.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep, hear you now.
Okay, great. Hey Alex, LeBron has talked about how much he absolutely trusts in you. I'm curious how it feels to have that type of trust from your teammates, and also just in general what this playoff run has felt like for you.
Yeah, it's important to have the trust of your teammates, especially with a guy like LeBron, just because the ball's in his hands most of the time. Most of our stuff is revolved around him and AD, so it's nice to have the trust of guys like that, and just teammates in general. When you have the trust of the other 4 guys out on the court and the guys on the bench are cheering for you, it makes your job a little less stressful, a little easier to get the job done, whatever it is. What was the second part? I forgot the second part of your question, sorry.
Hey, just about how this playoff run in general has felt for you.
Yeah, it's been a little different. I was really looking forward to playing in the atmosphere of Staples Center and all these other arenas with the fans, and having the intensity of the playoffs. Just exactly what I've seen on TV growing up and as a young professional. But it's still been, you can still feel it. Like when the ball goes up and you're out there playing, the energy of the game and the do or die mentality and sense of urgency is still there. It's been a lot of fun to be a part of. That's kind of how I always kind of play basketball. Obviously the stakes aren't always as high as this, but it's nice to have something to play for and to have this group of guys to be able to go after the goal with.